The big meeting room was quiet, too quiet. Commander Lee Ji-won sat at the human table and watched the other aliens talk in their own languages. The Galactic Council was having another vote today. This vote would decide if human colonies would get help during the Great Sickness. Ji-won looked around the huge room. The walls were made of some kind of blue metal that glowed softly. Hundreds of aliens sat at their own tables. The Vorthak looked like big lizards with sharp teeth. The Solonians were tall and made of pure light. The Threks moved like a group of giant bugs. The Nexari had metal parts mixed with their skin. All of them were older than humans in space. All of them thought they were better than humans. "The vote will begin now," said the council speaker. It was a Vorthak named Korthak. His voice was deep and scary. "We must decide if Colony Aid Package 7749 will pass." Colony Aid Package 7749. Such a boring name for something so important. This package would send medicine and doctors to 30 human worlds. On these worlds, millions of people were dying from a new sickness. The sickness made people very weak and then killed them slowly. Jawan had seen the reports. Whole cities were empty. Children were dying in their beds. Hospitals had no more room for sick people. The human colonies were begging for help. "The Vorthak Empire votes no," said Korthak. His yellow eyes looked right at Jawan. "Humans expand. Too fast? They take too many worlds? Why should we help them take more?" Jawan's hands made fists under the table. The Vorthak had 3 times more worlds than humans. But they said humans took too much space. "The Solonian collective votes no," said Elder Luxentrise. Her voice sounded like music, but her words were cold. "Humans are too violent. They make weapons instead of art. They do not deserve our medicine." More votes came in. The Threks said nitrogen monoxide. The Nexari said nitrogen monoxide. The Zephyrians, who were traitors, said yes, but they were only one voice against many. "The Outer Rim Federation votes yes," said Ambassador Kreen. His people were new to the council too. "We know what it means to be sick and need help, but it was not enough." The vote was 347 to 23. The humans would get no help. Millions would die while the council talked about human expansion and human weapons. G1 stood up. "I request to speak," she said. Her voice was loud in the quiet room. "You may speak, human representative," said Korthak. He did not sound happy about it. G1 walked to the center of the room. All the alien eyes watched her. She was small compared to most of them. Humans were always small in this room. 30 worlds are dying," she said. "Men, women, and children are dying right now while we sit here. The medicine they need exists. The doctors who can help them are ready to go. But you say no because you think humans are too violent, too greedy." She turned to look at the Vorthak section. "The Vorthak Empire has fought 12 wars in the last 50 years, but humans are too violent." She looked at the Solonians. "The Solonian collective controls the trade routes and makes other species pay high prices, but humans are too greedy." Her voice got louder. "You judge us, but you do the same things. The only difference is that we are new, we are different, and you are scared of us." "Watch your words, human," said Korthak. "You forget your place." "My place?" G1 laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "My place is to sit here and watch my people die while you debate. My place is to beg for help from people who made up their minds before the vote started." Elder Luxentrise floated forward. "Humans joined the council 50 years ago. In that time, you have taken more worlds than any other species. You build weapons that make us nervous. You solve problems with violence first and talking second. We take worlds that nobody else wants," said Juwan. "Worlds that are too hot or too cold or too dangerous for your species. We build weapons because the galaxy is dangerous. We use violence because sometimes talking does not work. And that is why we cannot help you," said Korthak. "Humans are a danger to galactic peace. If we help you now, you will just grow stronger and more dangerous." G1 stared at him. "So you let millions die to keep us weak." "We make hard choices for the good of all," said Luxentrise. "No," said G1. You make scared choices for the good of yourselves. The room got very quiet again. Yuan could hear her own heart beating. She had gone too far, but she did not care anymore. The human colonies will get no aid, said Korthek. This vote is final. But the council has more to discuss with the humans. He pressed a button on his table. A huge screen appeared in the air. It showed a document with lots of alien writing. This is the containment protocol, said Korthek. It is a new law for human space activities. Humans will be limited to 50 worlds total. No new colony ships will be allowed. Human military ships cannot go beyond your current borders. Human research into advanced weapons will stop. Jiwan felt cold. You want to put us in a cage. We want to keep the peace, said Luxuntrise. Humans are growing too fast and too strong. This protocol will make sure the galaxy stays safe. Safe from what? Asked Yuan. From humans who want to explore? From humans who want to build new homes? From humans who want to learn and grow? Safe from humans who want to conquer, said Korthek. Yuan looked around the room. She saw fear in their eyes, fear of what humans might become, fear of losing their own power. They were old species who had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. Humans were new and different, and that scared them. You have 1 week to accept the containment protocol, said Korthek. If you do not accept it, humans will be removed from the council and treated as hostile aliens. Hostile aliens, repeated Jiwan, for wanting to help our sick people, for wanting to explore space, for being different from you. She turned and walked back to her table. Her assistant, a young man named Park Do-yun, was waiting with a communication device. Commander, he whispered. Admiral Cho is calling from Earth. It's urgent. Jiwan took the device. Admiral Cho Minho's face appeared on the small screen. He looked tired and angry. Jiwan, he said. I just heard about the vote. How bad is it? Bad? She said quietly. No aid for the colonies. And they want us to sign something called the containment protocol. Cho's face got darker. What kind of containment? The kind that puts us in a cage and throws away the key? Cho was quiet for a moment. The colony governors are asking what to do. The sick people are asking when help will come. What do I tell them? Juwan looked around the room. The aliens were talking in their groups. Some were laughing. They thought this was funny. Human suffering was funny to them. Tell them, she said slowly, that the Galactic Council has made their choice, and now we will make ours. She turned off the device and stood up. The whole room looked at her. The human delegation requests a recess, she said. We need to discuss this with our government. You have 6 days left, said Korthek. Choose wisely. Jiwan walked out of the meeting room. She did not look back. She had a message to send to Earth. The message would change everything the galaxy was about to learn. What happened when you abandoned humanity? 3 days after the council vote, Admiral Cho Minho stood in the war room on Earth. The big screens showed maps of human space. Red dots marked the sick colonies. Blue dots showed human military bases. Yellow lines connected all the trade routes. Sir, said Captain Park Hyen, Commander Lee's message came through. The council rejected our request for aid. They also want us to sign the containment protocol. Cho looked at the young captain. Park had fought in the border wars 5 years ago. He was a good soldier and a smart officer. What does the protocol say exactly? No more than 50 worlds total? No new colonies? No military ships outside our borders? No advanced weapon research? Park's voice was angry. They want to lock us up like animals in a zoo. Other officers were in the room too. General Kong Tail was reading reports from the colonies. Dr. Kim Sora was looking at her tablet, studying alien technology data. Ambassador Yunera was talking quietly on her communication device. How long do we have? Asked. 4 days, said Park. Then they will call us hostile aliens and kick us out of the council. Cho walked to the big window. He could see Earth's blue oceans and white clouds. Somewhere up there, human ships were carrying medicine to the sick colonies. But it was not Enough, they needed the special alien medicine that only the Council had. General Kong, said Cho, what do our intelligence reports say? Tang looked up from his papers. The other species are happy we might leave. The Vorthak are already planning to take some of our outer worlds. The Nexari want our trade routes. The Solonians think we will just disappear. And our military strength? We have good ships and good soldiers, said Kong. But we are outnumbered 50-1. If all the Council species attack us together, we cannot win. Dr. Kim Sora spoke up, but they will not all attack together. They do not trust each other either. The Vorthak hate the Solonians. The Threks think the Nexari are weak. They only work together when they are scared of something. Scared of us, said Park. Yes, said Kim. And maybe they should be. Everyone looked at her. She was young for a chief scientist, but she was very smart. She had invented new weapons and ship designs that made the aliens nervous. What do you mean? Asked Cho. Kim put her tablet on the table. The screen showed technical drawings of ships and weapons. For 50 years, the Council has controlled what technology we can research. They said it was for safety. But really, they wanted to keep us weak. She touched the screen. New drawings appeared. These are the projects they would not let us work on: faster engines, better shields, new kinds of weapons. If we leave the Council, we can build anything we want. How long would that take? Asked Yoon. She had finished her call. 2 years for basic improvements. 5 years for major advances. 10 years to be stronger than any single Council species. Cho nodded slowly. But what about right now? What about the sick people on our colonies? Kim's face got sad. We will lose many people. The sickness will kill millions before we can make our own medicine. But if we stay in the Council and sign their protocol, we will lose our freedom forever. And eventually they will find other ways to hurt us, added Kong. Today it is medicine. Tomorrow it will be food or fuel or something else. They will keep us weak forever. Ambassador Yoon came to the table. I just talked to our representatives on 12 Council worlds. They are all being asked to leave. The aliens are not being mean about it, but the message is clear. Humans are not wanted anymore. What about our friends? Asked Park. The Zephyrians voted to help us. The Outer Rim Federation too. The Zephyrians are scared, said Yoon. The Vorthak told them to stop trading with us or face problems. The Outer Rim Federation is too small to help much. We are on our own. Cho sat down in his chair. The weight of the decision was heavy on his shoulders. Millions of people were depending on him. Human colonies across 50 worlds were waiting to hear what Earth would decide. Sir, said a young officer at a communication station, we are getting calls from the colony governors. They want to know what is happening. Put Governor Han on the main screen, said Cho. The screen showed a tired-looking woman in a hospital room. Governor Han Myra ruled the colony on New Seoul. It was one of the worst hit by the sickness. Admiral, she said, the situation here is getting worse. We lost 3,000 people yesterday. The hospitals are full. People are dying in their homes. When will the Council medicine arrive? Cho felt pain in his chest. Governor Han, the Council voted no. They will not send medicine. Han's face went white. What? But people are dying. Children are dying. How can they say no? They think humans are too dangerous to help, said Cho. Han was quiet for a moment. Then her face got angry. Dangerous? We are dangerous? We are the ones asking for help to save lives. They are the ones letting people die. Who is really dangerous here? Governor, we might have to leave the Council completely, said Cho. It would mean no help from any alien species. But it would also mean we could research our own medicine. How long would that take? Dr. Kim thinks 2 years minimum. Han closed her eyes. 2 years. Millions more will die in 2 years. I know, said Cho. It is a terrible choice. But if we stay and sign their protocol, they will control us forever. They will decide who lives and who dies among humans. Then we leave, said Han. We leave and we remember who our friends really are. The screen went dark. Cho called 5 more governors. All of them said the same thing. Leave the council, find another way. Dr. Kim, said Cho. If we leave, what can you do about the sickness? Kim looked at her research notes. I have been studying the alien medicine in secret. I think I can make a human version. It will not be as good as the original, but it will help. I need 6 months. 6 months instead of 2 years? For basic medicine, yes, but I will need resources. Lots of money, materials, and scientists. You will have everything you need, said Cho. General Kong spoke up. Admiral, if we leave the council, we need to prepare for war. Some species will try to take our worlds. Others might attack us just because they can. What do you recommend? Pull back all our ships from council space. Fortify our border worlds. Build new bases and weapons factories and ... Pong Pong paused. We should make new allies. New allies? Species that are not in the council. Pirates, rebels, outcasts. Anyone who does not like the big alien empires. Ambassador Yun nodded. There are many small species that the council ignores or bullies. They might work with us. Captain. Park was looking at the star maps. Sir, if we are leaving anyway, should we rescue our people from council worlds first? What do you mean? We have human workers, diplomats, and traders on hundreds of alien worlds. If we become hostile aliens, they might be arrested or worse. Cho had not thought of that. How many people? Maybe 50,000 total? Start planning a rescue operation, said Cho. But keep it secret for now. Dr. Kim was still working on her tablet. Admiral, there's something else. The Council has been sharing alien technology with us for 50 years, but they never gave US the really good stuff. If we leave, we lose access to all alien technology, but we can research our own. Yes, but it will take time. Maybe we can ... some alien technology before we leave. Everyone looked at her. Borrow? Asked. Park. Copy their computer files. Take pictures of their machines. Learn their secrets before they kick us out. That sounds like spying, said Yoon. It is spying, said Kim. But they are letting our people die. I think we can spy on them a little. General. Kong smiled. I like her thinking. Cho stood up and walked to the window again. Outside, the sun was setting. Soon it would be night. Soon they would have to make the choice that would change human history. 3 days, he said. In 3 days, Commander Lee will go back to the council and give them our answer. What answer? Asked Park. Cho turned around. His face was hard, but his eyes were determined. We tell them that humans do not accept cages. We tell them that we will find our own way among the stars. And we tell them that they will regret the day they abandoned humanity. The room was quiet. Then General Kong started clapping. Soon everyone was clapping. The die was cast. Humanity would leave the Galactic Council. They would stand alone against the galaxy. But they would be free. 2 months after humans left the Galactic Council, everything seemed normal. The Vorthic Empire was happy. The Solonians felt peaceful. The Nexari were making plans to take over human trade routes. Good riddance, said Korthek to his war council. The humans were trouble. Now we can divide their worlds among ourselves. But Elder Luxentrise was not so sure. She floated in her light chamber, thinking about the human woman who had walked out of the council chambers. Commander Lee Ji-won had not looked scared. She had looked angry and determined. Something feels wrong, Luxentrise told her advisors. Humans do not give up easily. They are planning something. What can they plan? Asked her aide. They are just one species. We are hundreds of species working together. Luxentrise did not answer, but she ordered her scouts to watch the edges of the galaxy. Something in her ancient mind felt danger coming. She was right to be worried. 3 weeks later, the first warning came from the Zephyrian trade worlds. Ambassador Kreen was in his office when his communication device started screaming alarms. Sir, shouted his aide. Long-range sensors are picking up something at the edge of our space? Something big. Kreen looked at the sensor readings. At first, he thought the machines were broken. The numbers did not make sense. How many ships? He asked. That is the problem, sir. They are not ships. They are ... Structures, huge metal structures moving through space, and they are eating everything in their path. Eating? The Outer Station 7 was there this morning, now it is gone. Not destroyed, gone, like it never existed. Crean felt cold, fear in his stomach. Send an emergency message to the council and send a copy to the humans. The humans, sir? But they left the council. Just do it, said Crean. The message reached the council 3 hours later. By then, 5 more Zephyrian stations had disappeared. The council called an emergency meeting. In the great chamber, representatives from all the major species gathered, but the human table was empty. For 2 months, that empty table had made them feel good. Now it looks scary. The reports from the Zephyrian territory are difficult to believe, said Korthak, but our own sensors confirm them. Unknown structures are moving through space. They are consuming everything they touch. Elder Luxontries floated forward. We sent 3 scout ships to investigate. They got close enough to take pictures before they were consumed. The main screen showed images that made everyone afraid. Huge metal shapes moved through space like living things. They were not ships as anyone understood ships. They looked like giant machines made to eat and grow. What are they? Asked the Nexari representative. We do not know, said Luxontries. But they are moving toward the center of the galaxy. They will reach council space in 6 months. Our military will stop them, said Korthak, but his voice did not sound sure. With what? Asked the Threx Queen. Her hive mind spoke through one of her warrior drones. We sent a battle fleet to engage them. 1,000 ships, the enemy things. Destroyed them all in minutes. Not destroyed, consumed, turned into more of themselves. The chamber was very quiet. Fear was a smell in the air. We need to send our biggest fleets, said the Nexari leader. All of our species working together. Already tried, said the Threx Queen. 3 species worked together. 5,000 ships total. The enemy consumed them and grew stronger. Korthak hit his table with his clawed hand. Then what do you suggest? That we run away? Maybe, said the Queen. Or maybe we ask for help. Help from who? The Queen's drone looked at the empty human table. From the species that thinks differently than us. From the species that fights wars in ways we do not understand. The humans, Korthak's voice was full of anger. Never. We will not beg the humans for help. Then we will all die with our pride, said the Queen. Elder Luxontries was thinking hard. Send me all the data we have on these devours I want. To study them. Devours? Asked the Nexari. That is what we will call them, said Luxontries. Because that is what they do? For 3 days, Luxontries studied the data. The more she learned, the more afraid she became. The Devourers were not just strong, they were smart. They learned from every battle. They took the metal from destroyed ships and made themselves bigger. Worst of all, they were not random, they had a plan. They were moving toward the most populated systems first. They wanted to consume as many worlds as possible. On the 4th day, terrible news came from the Threx homeworlds. The Devourers have reached our outer colonies, reported the Queen. We threw everything we had at them, 2 million warrior drones, our biggest hive ships, our planet-killer weapons, and, asked Korthak, they consumed it all, every ship, every drone, every weapon, and now they are bigger and stronger than before. The Queen's drone started to shake. My people died, billions of my people. They are being consumed right now. I can feel them dying through the hive mind. The Devourers are turning our own bodies into more machines. Some representatives left the chamber. They could not listen anymore. How long before they reached the core worlds? Asked Luxontries. 4 months? Said the Queen. Maybe less? That night, Elder Luxontries floated alone in her chamber. She was thousands of years old. She had seen wars and plagues and disasters. But nothing like this. She activated her private communication system. After a few minutes, a human face appeared on the screen. It was Admiral Cho Minho. Elder Luxontries, said Cho. His voice was cold. This is unexpected. Admiral, I know humans have no reason to help the Council. But we are facing something terrible. Something that threatens all life in the galaxy. Cho's face did not change. The Devourers, yes, we know about them, you know? We have been watching the edge of the galaxy for 2 months. We saw them coming. Before anyone else. Then you know how dangerous they are. Yes, said Cho. We also know that conventional weapons do not work against them. Big fleets make them stronger. Energy weapons feed them power. Everything the Council has tried makes the problem worse. Lux Centris felt hope for the first time in days, so you've been thinking about this problem. Dr. Kim Sora has been studying the sensor data. She has some ideas. Will you share them with the Council? It was quiet for a long time. The Council told us we were too dangerous to help. The Council let millions of our people die. Why should we help you now? Because if the Devourers win, humans will die too. Maybe humans will find a way to survive. We are good at surviving. Lux Centris felt desperate. What do you want? Territory, technology, formal apologies. I want the Council to admit they were wrong, said Cho. I want them to ask for help properly. Not as rulers talking to subjects, but as equals asking for partnership. And if they do that, then we will talk. But understand, Elder, if we help, we do it our way. No Council oversight. No limits on our methods. We fight this war using human tactics. What kind of tactics? Cho's face got hard. The kind that the Council called too violent, too dangerous, too evil for civilized beings. After Cho ended the call, Lux Centris floated to her window. Outside, the stars looked the same as always. But she knew that something terrible was moving between them. Something that would consume everything unless they found a new way to fight. She sent a message to all Council representatives. Emergency meeting tomorrow. We must discuss ... asking for help. When Korthak got the message, he threw his communication device against the wall. Ask the humans for help? He roared. Never. But 2 hours later, another message came. The Devourers had consumed the Threx home world. 20 billion beings, gone in one day. Korthak stared at the message for a long time. Then he picked up his broken communication device and called his fleet commanders. Prepare ships for a diplomatic mission, he said. The words tasted like poison in his mouth. We are going to human space. The mighty Galactic Council was about to beg the species they had abandoned. The Council delegation arrived at the edge of human space 3 days later. 5 ships carried representatives from the major species. Korthak commanded the Vorthak ship. Elder Lux Centris floated in her Solonian vessel. The few surviving Threx sent a queen drone. The Nexari brought their best diplomat, but they had to wait. For 3 whole days, the human border guards made them sit in empty space. No communication, no permission to enter human territory, just silence. This is insulting, growled Korthak on the 4th day. We are the Galactic Council. They should welcome us immediately. We abandoned them, said Lux Centris quietly. We let their people die. Why should they welcome us? On the 4th day, a single human ship appeared. It was small and old-looking. Not the impressive warship the Council expected. Council delegation. Came a human voice. You may follow us to the meeting station. Do not deviate from the flight path. Do not scan our systems. Any aggressive action will result in your immediate destruction. The tone was cold, professional, not respectful at all. They flew for 6 hours through human space. The Council representatives saw things that surprised them. New space stations that looked different from anything they knew. Ships with strange designs, weapon platforms that their sensors could not understand. How did they build all this so fast? Whispered the Nexari diplomat. The meeting station was huge. Bigger than any Council station. It was shaped like a giant wheel spinning in space. Human ships moved around it like busy insects inside the station. The Council delegation was led to a conference room. It was simple and plain. No beautiful decorations. No comfortable chairs for different alien body types. Just a basic room with a big table, They waited another hour before the humans arrived. Commander Li Jiwan walked in first. She looked older than 2 months ago. There were new scars on her face and hands. Behind her came Admiral Cho Minho, Dr. Kim Sora, General Kong Taio, and Captain Park Hyan. The humans sat down across from the aliens. Nobody spoke for a long minute. "Well," said Admiral Cho finally, "you asked for this meeting." Korthik started to speak, but Elder Luxentri stopped. Admiral Cho, Commander Li, we come to ask for your help against the Devourers. The same Devourers you ignored for weeks while they consumed peaceful species?" asked Li. Her voice was cold as space. "We did not ignore them. We tried to fight them." "You tried to fight them the same way you fight everything," said Dr. Kim. "With big fleets and energy weapons, you made them stronger." "Then you know how to fight them?" asked the Threx Queen Drone. Kim looked at Admiral Cho. He nodded. "We have ideas," said Kim. "But first, let us talk about the price." "Price?" Korthik's voice was angry. "You want payment for saving the galaxy?" "Not payment," said General Kong. "Justice." Captain Park put a datapad on the table. 3 million humans died during the plague while you debated. Our colonies begged for help. You said no because we were too dangerous. "The Council offers formal regrets for," started the Nexari diplomat. "Regrets?" Lee stood up. "Regrets do not bring back the dead. Regrets do not heal the families torn apart by your politics." Admiral Cho leaned forward. "Here are our terms. Full human autonomy in military operations. Complete access to all Council intelligence about the Devourers. Recognition of human territorial claims to 50 additional worlds." 50 additional worlds? Korthik jumped up. "That is impossible." "Then the Devourers will consume your worlds instead," said Cho calmly. "Your choice." Elder Luxentris floated closer to the table. "What else?" "The right to use any methods necessary to defeat the Devourers. No Council oversight. No complaints about our tactics being too violent or too dangerous." "What kind of tactics?" asked the Queen Drone. Dr. Kim smiled. It was not a nice smile. "The kind that work." The negotiations took 6 hours. The Council representatives argued and complained. The humans did not move from their demands. Finally, Elder Luxentris made the decision. "We accept your terms," she said. Korthik looked at her like she was crazy. "You cannot speak for the entire Council." "The Threx homeworld is gone," said the Queen Drone quietly. "My species is dying. I accept human terms." "The Nexari Federation accepts," said their diplomat. Korthik was alone. "Fine," he growled. "But if your methods fail, do not blame us." Admiral Cho stood up. "Our methods will not fail." "But you might not like them?" Dr. Kim activated a wall screen. It showed the Devourer fleet moving through space. Hundreds of huge metal shapes consuming everything in their path. "The Devourers are not alive," said Kim. "They are machines. Very old machines from a dead civilization. They were programmed to prepare worlds for colonization by consuming all existing life." "Prepare worlds?" asked Luxentris. "The original builders are long dead, but the machines keep following their programming. They consume everything and wait for masters who will never come." Captain Park pointed to the screen. "They learn from every battle. Every ship they consume makes them smarter and stronger. That is why big fleets do not work." "Then how do we fight them?" asked the Nexari. "We do not fight them," said General Kong. "We confuse them." 2 weeks later, the first joint human-alien operation began. The target was a Devourer advance fleet that was moving toward the Nexari core worlds. Captain Park Hyan stood on the bridge of his ship, the Soul's Vengeance. Around him, alien ships waited for orders. Vortha cruisers, Solonian energy vessels, and Nexari tech ships. "All ships, this is Captain Park," he said into his communicator. "Remember the plan. Do exactly what I tell you, even if it seems crazy." "Define crazy," came the voice of Commander Turville, a Vorthak officer. "You will see," said Park. The Devourer fleet was ahead of them. 50 massive metal shapes moving in perfect formation. Each one was the size of a small moon. All ships begin. Random movement patterns, ordered Park. No formation. No coordination. Act like panicking civilians. This is madness, said Turville. We are trained warriors, not civilians. That is the point, said Park. The Devourers expect trained warriors. They know how to fight organized fleets. They do not know how to fight chaos. The Allied ships spread out randomly. Some ships flew in circles. Others moved back and forth for no reason. The Solonian ships flickered their lights on and off. It looked like complete confusion. The Devourers slowed down. Their formation changed as they tried to understand what they were seeing. Phase 2, said Park. Civilian ships begin retreat. Military ships pretend to be cargo vessels. Half the fleet turned and ran away. The other half started broadcasting fake cargo manifests and civilian identification codes. The Devourers were confused. Their sensors showed military ships, but the ships were acting like frightened civilians. They are trying to decide if we are a threat, said Dr. Kim from her science ship. Their programming tells them to consume military targets first, but we do not look military. Phase 3, said Park. Fake distress signals. Human ships began broadcasting emergency calls. Help us, our engines are failing. We are just traders. Please do not hurt us. The Devourers stopped completely. Their machine minds could not process what they were seeing. Military ships asking for help? Warriors pretending to be civilians? It did not match their programming. Now, said Park quietly, hidden among the civilian ships were human vessels carrying Dr. Kim's special weapons. Not energy weapons or explosive missiles. Something much stranger, computer viruses. Designed specifically to attack machine minds, the virus weapons looked like escape pods. Small, harmless, running away from the broken ships. The Devourers ignored them completely. The fake escape pods flew right into the Devourer formation. When they touched the metal hulls, they attached like parasites and began uploading their virus payloads. Direct hit on 12 Devourer units, reported Kim. The virus is spreading through their communication network. On the screen, the massive Devourer ships began to shake. Their perfect formation broke apart. Some ships turned in circles. Others started moving in the wrong direction. All ships, attack now, ordered Park. Hit them while they are confused. The Allied fleet dropped their disguises and attacked, but they did not attack like a normal fleet. Human ships came from unexpected angles. Alien vessels used weapons in ways they were never designed for. Cargo ships rammed into confused DEVOURS. It was chaos. Beautiful, deadly chaos. When the battle ended, 47 Devourer ships were destroyed. Only 3 Allied ships were lost. How? Asked Commander Turville. His voice was full of amazement. Machines think in patterns, explained Kim. They expect logical behavior. When we act illogically, they cannot adapt fast enough. But the victory came with a cost. Ambassador Yunera had led a special mission to plant a bigger virus in the Devourer command network. Her ship had to get very close to the largest Devourer vessel. Yun to fleet, came her voice over the radio. I am uploading the master virus. Now it will spread to all Devourer units in this sector. Yun, get out of there, shouted Park. Negative. I have to stay close to maintain the connection. The virus needs 30 more seconds to complete upload. On the screen, the massive Devourer was turning toward Yun's small ship. Its weapons were charging. 20 seconds, said Yun. Her voice was calm. Yun, that is an order. Retreat now. 10 seconds. Tell my family I was proud to serve with humans who remember their friends. The Devourer fired. Yun's ship disappeared in a ball of light, but the virus uploaded successfully. Across the sector, Devourer ships began shutting down as the virus spread through their network. She did it, whispered Kim. The virus is working? In the silence that followed, every ship in the fleet honored Ambassador Yun Nara. Human and alien voices spoke together. We will remember. 6 months later, the war was over. The virus had spread to 90% of the Devourer fleet. The remaining machines were hunted down and destroyed by joint human-alien forces. The galaxy was saved, but it was not the same galaxy as before. Commander Li Jiwan stood in the rebuilt council chambers. But these chambers were different. They were on a human space station orbiting Earth. The old council building had been destroyed by the Devourers. "The Stellar Compact is now official," she announced to the assembled representatives. "All member species have equal voices in government. All species maintain the right to self-defense. No species may limit another species' expansion or research." Elder Luxantris floated nearby. "The Solonian Collective formally apologizes for our role in the containment protocol. We were wrong to fear human potential." Korthik stood slowly. The proud Vorthik warrior looked older and more tired. "The Vorthik Empire acknowledges human superiority in warfare. We request human advisors for our military academies." The Threx Queen Drone spoke for her rebuilt species. "Humans saved what remained of our people. The Threx will always stand with humanity." But not everyone was happy with the new order. "Humans control everything now," complained some aliens in private. "They have the biggest military. The best technology, the most territory." "Yes," Admiral Cho replied when these complaints reached him. "And we earned it by saving you all." The truth was that humans did not want to control everything. They wanted to explore and build and learn. But they also wanted to make sure that no species would ever again be abandoned when they needed help. Captain Park Hyen, now promoted to Admiral, established the Never Again protocol. Early warning systems watched for threats from outside the galaxy. Defense fleets included ships from all species. Working together, Dr. Kim Sora became the head of the Technological Advancement Council. Her first law banned any limits on research for any species. "Knowledge belongs to everyone," she said. "We will not repeat the Council's mistakes." General Kong Taiyou created the new military doctrine. "We fight as one people," he taught at the war colleges. Human creativity, Vorthak strength, Solonian wisdom, Threx numbers, Nexari technology. Together, we are unstoppable. Years passed. New species joined the Stellar Compact. The galaxy grew peaceful and prosperous. Children of all species learned the history of the time of abandonment and the Devour War. They learned that fear and prejudice almost destroyed all life in the galaxy. They learned that cooperation and respect made everyone stronger. But most importantly, they learned about sacrifice. About beings like Ambassador Yun Nara who gave their lives for others. About humans who could have stayed safe but chose to save their enemies. In the central plaza of New Council Station, a monument stood tall. It showed humans and aliens working together. At the base, words were carved in every language, in memory of those who stood alone when others would not stand together. "May we never forget the price of abandonment." Commander Li Jiwan, now director of the Stellar Compact, visited the monument. Every year on the anniversary of humanity's departure from the old council. This year, she brought her granddaughter. The little girl looked up at the monument with wide eyes. "Grandmother," she asked, "why did the aliens not want to help humans?" Jiwan knelt down beside her granddaughter. "They were afraid, little one. They thought humans were too different, too dangerous. But humans saved them. Yes, sometimes the people who seem most dangerous are the ones who will fight hardest to protect others. Will something like the Devourers come again?" Jiwan looked up at the stars visible through the station's windows. Out there, new worlds were being explored by mixed crews of humans and aliens. New discoveries were being made. New friendships were being formed. "Maybe," she said. "But if they do, we will be ready. All of us together," the little girl nodded seriously. Then she looked back at the monument. "Grandmother I want to be. Like Ambassador Yun when I grow up." Jiwan smiled and hugged her granddaughter. "Then remember her lesson. Stand with your friends even when it is dangerous. Help those who need help, even if they have hurt you before. And never, ever abandon someone just because they are different." High above them, the stars shone down on a galaxy that had learned, at terrible cost, that diversity was strength and isolation was death. Humanity had been abandoned by the Galactic Council. But in the end, it was humanity that refused to abandon anyone else. And that made all the difference.